In the southern parts of the Stormlands, where Cape Wrath meets the Red Mountains, on top of the Slain River, sits Stonehelm, ancestral seat of House Swann. Though our blood certainly originates from the coming of the first men and the age of heroes, our noble line starts during the reign of King Duran II of the Trident. Our ancestor Roland was a favorite of the king and had been granted the position of Warden of the Swans for the king, who had a fascination with these creatures. The king's realm at this point stretched from the Red Mountains all the way to the borders with the kingdom of the Starks. Roland did not just hold a position in the court, but had also proven himself as a capable military commander, often serving as a lieutenant in various wars against the Dornish. Roland maintained these prestigious positions and made sure to stay close to the Durrandon kings. During the kingship of Eric Durrandon, grandson of Duran II, he managed to wed his daughter Jane Swann to the king. King Eric raised Roland to a lord as a gift for his daughter and his years of service, granting him as his sigil and name the majestic beasts that he had warred for so many years. He was granted the lands between the Slain River, and since those times House Swann has guarded the river and the lands from all foes after constructing the prominent fort of Stonehelm. During Aegon's conquest, the Swans marched under the banner of Argilac the Arrogant when he left Storm's End and met Orys Baratheon in open battle. Lord Clifford Swann slew 10 men during the battle until Borys Baratheon sliced his head clean off his shoulders. After the battle and the death of the Durrandons, our house, like all the other houses of the Stormlands, bent the knee to our new overlords and continued our duties. During the Dance of the Dragons, House Swann stood proudly with their Lord Paramount on the side of the Green faction. During this time, Sir Byron Swann, son of Lord Galbert Swann, attempted to slay Rhaenyra's dragon Syrax. He held in front of him a mirror shield, hoping to confuse the dragon just like Serwyn of the Mirror Shield did with the dragon Urax. Unfortunately, Sir Byron was unsuccessful and suffered a horrible fiery death. And now we come to the present. My grandfather, Lord Alos Brightswan, took part in King Daeron's war against Prince Marentz in 157 AC and fought side by side with the king. My grandfather, like my ancestors of old, had managed to marry into the Baratheon family with his marriage with Lady Kellis Baratheon. His reign was peaceful and honorable. Then there is my father, Lord Gawain, the wordsmith Swann, Gawain the honor-bound, Gawain the stalwart. In 180 AC, he became Lord of Redwatch. His diplomatic skills were incredible, as he managed to secure marriages with the Targaryen family itself, marrying his brother to Lady Arya, granddaughter of King Aegon III. During the brothers' quarrel, Lord Swann kept true to the oaths given to Aegon IV and his heir. While Lord Gawain had joined the war, he and the other Marcher lords, bound by an alliance, were more focused on the Dornish, who rebelled and raided the lands. In the end, King Daeron won the war, and Lord Swann marched to King's Landing, not as a prisoner in chains, but on top of a white horse with 7 knights behind him. He stood in front of King Daeron with pride, and he refused to break his vows to Aegon. He did not bend the knee nor swore an oath, but offered a solution to this king, which the king accepted. Lord Gawain returned as a hero to his home, and for the next 10 years he continued his duties with wisdom and honor. Some years later, around the year 194 AC, a great raid begun into Dorne by the Marcher lords and their allies, such as House Lannister. The raid was a success, as important castles such as Will and Bottleneck were taken and pillaged. Most of the battles were lost by the Marchers, however, and they were not able to push much into Dorne. 10 years later, around 203 AC, my father was summoned to the capital. The Raven spoke of an offer to sit upon the small council. If only we had the foresight. My father arrived to the capital and entered in the throne room. The king offered a seat indeed, yet he demanded my father to forsake his oaths to King Aegon and to bend the knee. My father, defiant to such a bribery, stood firm at the oaths he defended 10 years ago, and for not being branded as an oathbreaker, Daron broke his word and agreement and put my father in chains and hastily sent him to the wall. A disgraceful act, an honorless act that House Swann will not forget any time soon. The only dim light in this darkness was the fervent support my father had from Prince Baelor, yet it was not enough to sway the arrogant king. And now I rule Lord Sandor Swann over a scarred realm, a realm that has seen so many wars in the recent years and has been depleted severely. I walk on a tightrope, and should I lose my balance, House Swann could be gone forever. In the east, King Aegon V rallies his armies and prepares to invade. My uncle, Ronald, has sailed to Essos and joined Aegon in his conquest. They ask me, where do my loyalties lie? To Aegon or to Daron? I say my loyalties belong to my people, for while the Targaryens feud for their chair, the realm burns in fire and blood. Our words are, by our grace, and through that we shall emerge stronger than before.